National EB member for joining us. Then let me thank the President of AHA Kerala, Dr. Ranjit. Then President of IAP Kerala, Dr. Shimi Polo sir. The President-elect IAP Kerala, Dr. Riyaz sir. Dr. Ananta Kesavan sir. Dr. Krishna Mohan sir, Secretary IAP Kerala. Dr. Rani Givorgis, our IAP Pathanamthitta President. And Dr. Vitu Ashok, our Secretary AHA Kerala. Dr. Shweta, our Master of Ceremony, and all other dignitaries and all our seniors who have joined. Our Sugandha Chatterjee sir is there, and all national leaders are there with us. So let me thank all of them for joining us for this talk. Thank you all. Let's hear from our speaker, Geeta Patil. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to the end of the inaugural ceremony. Now we are moving on to the academic session. May I invite our dynamic Secretary of AHA Kerala, Dr. Vidu Ashok, to introduce our renowned chairperson.
Good evening. So it's the Environment Day is coming up, and very happy to be AHA Kerala along with IAP Pathanamthitta and IAP Kerala to host this program. For the chairperson, we have our ever eco-friendly Balchandran sir with us. He is the president of IAP Kottayam. He is the national secretary of EZHC chapter 22-23. He's the national EB member. He's the secretary of IAP Kerala. He was the secretary of IAP Kerala. So many positions held by sir. And more than that, he has been active in so many things. So, and he has been a great support for all of us throughout our programs, and especially for the environment. And as the Environment Day is also coming up, I invite sir to our program to be the chairperson and also to introduce our speaker for the day. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vidu. First of all, let me thank the Adolescent Health team led by Dr. Ranjit and Dr. Vidu for inviting me to share this important session by our very important person, Dr. Geeta Patil ma'am. Geeta Patil ma'am, you know, she's a very vibrant leader from Karnataka, from Bangalore, and she has organized that our last environment conference at Bangalore at IAC with the help of Paramesh sir. And she is the EB of environment chapter for the last 2 years, and now is presently the national chairperson of Adolescent Health Academy, the most vibrant chapter of Indian Academy of Pediatrics. Geeta Patil ma'am has been is a senior consultant pediatrician. Also, she is working at Bangalore. And coming to the topic, we all know that our global temperature is on the rise, 1.1 degrees centigrade more than the pre-industrial levels. And if it goes like this in another 5 years, it will be 1.5 degrees centigrade more. And by the end of the century, it will be 3.5 degrees centigrade more. So that is the importance of this environmental chapter now. And the importance is that the low-income countries which bear the brunt of this climate change has the most population of the young adults, young adolescents and young adults, that is between 10 to 24 years. Almost 8 of 10 countries bear this brunt. So here lies the importance of today's topic. And according to the Global Climate Risk Index, India comes around 5th in the world regarding this. And the adolescents, as you all know, the asthma is on the rise, allergic diseases are on the rise, airway diseases, the foodborne and waterborne disease. And just now, Dr. Riyaz has said about the hormonal problems in children, precocious puberty is on the rise, mental health and stress-related disorders, developmental defects, e-waste. Our adolescents use the maximum electronic equipments. 40% of the lead and 70% of the heavy metals in landfills is accounted by the e-waste. So, although climate change affects every stage of life, there are not much studies on the effect of the adolescents. So, there lies also the importance of this topic, what we have to hear from Geeta Patil ma'am. And I would like to add one more thing about the National Green Army, the brainchild of our Noshidani, who is the president of IEP Vadagara. We are going to launch the Green Army in IEP Pathanamthitta, one school in IEP Pathanamthitta school, day after tomorrow. And hopefully already Kottayam, Trivandrum and Vadagara has launched this National Green Army in schools. And this will be spread to many in Calcutta also. This is going to be done day after tomorrow. And so the importance of awareness of adolescents about this climate change is very important. And with these words, I would like to welcome our Geeta Patil ma'am for the talk, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Balchandran, for your kind words. I think we know that he is an expert. Maybe if I do some mistake, please correct me, sir.
No, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So at the outset, let me thank IIP Kerala, led by Dr. Shimi Palos, then Dr. Krishna Mohan, and Dr. Riaz, who is a president-elect, and Dr. Jose in his absentia, and Dr. Anand Keshwan. When I was a EB, he was a vice president of the South Zone. So we have worked together. I know his passion because he is the chairperson of the environment chapter. And AHA Kerala, I think I don't have any words to tell the enthusiasm of the AHA Kerala. Dr. Ranjit, Dr. Vidhu, last year Dr. Deepa, all of them have done so good work. I do agree that Kerala always is in forefront of all academic activities in all the chapters. Why only Adolescent Health Academy or any chapter? And apart from that, this system of having one IAP branch in the activity makes it gives a lot of responsibilities to them. That is IIP Pathanamthitta, Dr. Reni, Dr. Bibin, Dr. Goldie, all of them together, when they take efforts, definitely the program becomes very good one. And it's a really overwhelming for me to see so many seniors also. Like a Dr. Kishore Baindur sir is there, Dr. Sukanta sir is there, our chairperson elect of AHA, Dr. Himabindu madam is there, and many more are there who are interested in this topic. As Balchandra sir told that it's absolutely relevant topic. Vidhu, I am sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And I'm audible. So I think this is the absolutely relevant topic for the present circumstances, environment and adolescent health. Why only adolescents, sir? All the age group, right from the intrauterine life to geriatric. Environment is playing a major role. But today's my talk is, or my discussion is confined to the only adolescent health. So let us start with the thing, what we are going to see in next 30-35 minutes, because this is a very vast topic. I may not be able to cover everything, but we should know what is meant by environment first, and what is the environmental health, and why we are discussing so much. Few things are already been talked by Dr. Riaz and Dr. Balchandra, why it is important, and why adolescents are getting affected more. And simple words, what is a global warming, climate change, what is a noise, light, water pollution, then e-waste is already mentioned, food wastage, and how it is related to adolescent health. See, this is a topics everyone knows. I think most of the things are known, but maybe let me fine tune certain things. And this environment, how it affects the physical and mental health problems in adolescents. And important is environmental history. So all these things we will see in this time. So day in and out, we go on seeing these pictures. I think these pictures are collected by Dr. Deepa. Factory, India Gate, noise, ocean, water bodies getting polluted, vehicle emissions, so much illuminated cities. Apart from that, this is also we have to remember, underprivileged are getting affected. So let us see now what climate change in India. I'm not talking about the global thing. There is a history now. Ministry of Earth Sciences says that average temperature is going to rise by 4.4 degree. Already Balchandra sir told by 2100. But I think we are progressing very fast. If we do not change, it will be very rapid. 21 of world's 30 most polluted cities are in India. That is a report in 2020. More than 600 million Indians will face acute water shortage, Niti Aayog tells. Then 2018, India lost nearly $37 billion due to climate change. And I think Kerala, we know that big disasters, many Kerala floods are there. So we need to know very much in depth. Parmesh sir, our guide, mentor, founder, his study shows that asthma, exaggeration of asthma, allergic rhinitis are rapidly increasing. So we go on seeing these things. Delhi is a polluted city, temperature is increasing, there is a heavy rain, there is a red alert, same time there is a drought, heat exhaustion, heat stress. This is a new topic which I have added. So far we have not discussed. So far whatever I attended environment thing, heat exhaustion and heat stress was not mentioned. So this I have added in short. Environment, all of us, we know that it is a sum total of all living, non-living things, and what it influences the human life. It sustains the life, modify the quality of the life, and it gives us resources. It is obviously, it is a natural as well as built, man-made. So now we should know what is environmental health. If you know correctly the definition of the environmental health by WHO, we can take the action. That is how this health is determined by the interaction with the physical, biological, social, psychological factors in the environment. And there are some advantages are there, benefits are there, but most of the time we see adverse effects on the health of the present and future generation. Obviously, all the environment, family environment, school environment, social environment, digital environment are very important, but I'm not covering these things here. We know that 5th June is an Environment Day. This is a primer for that day, I feel. So prominent prevention challenges are global warming, climate change, pollution, natural disasters, and how it affects the health. So I'm concentrating on the physical environment. In that, I'm going to talk a little bit about digital environment also. See, everything is related to adolescent health. Child, adolescent health, more so adolescent health. See, environmental factors, what affect the human health? Pollution, it is air, soil, water, noise, light, radioactive waves. Deforestation, we know that deforestation is so important and it is rapidly increasing to have a cement buildings, glass building, solid waste pollution, global warming, change in climatic conditions. So these are the things. And one thing we have to remember, epidemics of environmental problems are there. Long-lasting weather conditions. See, we know that now summer is so much going on. Bangalore-like place, we never thought of temperature reaching to 40, 41, but it has happened. Water, food, air, vector-borne diseases. Definitely when there is a weather change, this is going to happen. So burning of the fossil fuels, natural disaster, hurricanes, this is going to play a major role. May not be able to tell everything in detail, but before starting my thing, I just want to talk about basic thing. What is a greenhouse gases? All of us, we know that it is the substances present in the Earth's atmosphere that traps the heat and it warms the planet. So it prevents the Earth to become ice cold so that we can live there. But human beings are doing so many human activities by burning the fossil fuels, deforestation. Obviously, the greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, fluorinated gases are increasing. So the natural greenhouse effect is getting exaggerated by the human activities. Obviously, it is leading to the weather pattern changes, increase in the sea level, increase in the temperature, and ecosystem itself is changing and affecting everyone. So this global warming, as I already told, this is the way it is happening. And natural greenhouse effect has been enhanced by the human beings, human activities. So Balchandra sir told that it is rises the global temperature. Whatever is mentioned, that 4.1, 4.5, I think we are going to go to rapidly progress if we don't take the action. And obviously the weather pattern, sea level, biodiversity is going. As environment chapter, we always talk about biodiversity because it affects the water world also. And that has got a tremendous effect. And changes in the climate conditions, typhoons, rising temperature, melting of glaciers, increased rainfall, global ocean currents. This is a beautiful way. This is also, we have got in our Beyond the Basics workshop. This was Dr. Deepa Janardhan's slide. So now let us concentrate why adolescent and young adults are prone for environmental hazards. See, we know that adolescents have to go out, curricular, extracurricular activities, and they have to go on the playground. So the effects of the natural disaster, climatic changes are more on the adolescents. Apart from that, all of us, we know that their height is less, and these vehicle emissions, ozone, toxic gases are accumulated on the ground level. I think please remember Bhopal tragedy, that thiocyanate accumulated on the lower level and more of the children were affected. Neurodevelopmental problems were quite a lot after that. So one is adolescent, they are developing their physiology, their systems, their organs are immature, so they get affected. Their basal metabolic rate and respiratory rate is more, so they inhale more toxic gases. And obviously their brain is under construction. So immature prefrontal cortex, which controls the executive functions, makes them high risk taking. So now I am going to talk about this is why children are more vulnerable to heat stroke. I think this is the time to talk about that, discuss about that, learn about this. See, obviously physiological and developmental factors play a major role. Please remember, children have got a higher metabolic rate. They generate more heat. Their sweat glands are also less efficient. Maybe early adolescent, I can say, early mid-adolescent, and limiting their ability to reduce that severity by sweating. Their surface area to body weight ratio is higher. So they are prone to absorb heat from the environment, and they might not have that much cognitive ability. We know that we only tell that neurodevelopment is not complete, and they cannot recognize and communicate feeling of the overheating. And their underdeveloped thermoregulatory system, hyperthermia, we know that thermoregulatory system gets disturbed here. So it is a challenge for them to get adjusted to rapid change in temperature and extreme weather conditions. So adolescents are affected by environmental pollution, cognitive function, respiratory problems, which we are going to see after a few minutes. Climate change, they get affected. That also we are going to see. But I want to mention this environmental disasters affect more the adolescents. It leads to injuries, displacement, loss of house, schools, disruption of the health services, long-term psychological trauma. But let us remember the thing. These are the 2 points to be remembered. Environmental injustice. This is a terminology used by WHO. The adolescent from the marginalized communities or from the low income, they often bear the brunt of environmental injustice. They face higher levels of pollution and greater exposure to environmental hazards. They don't have access to green spaces. This exacerbates the health disparity, contribute to social inequality. This is a problem, may not be many years ahead. It is in a recent future, it is going to happen. And very important, this environment, there is no access to green space. Adolescents living in the urban environment may have got a limited access to the green space. So there are parks, forests, gardens, they are all squashed. There are no lakes. Many places, lakes are converted into apartments. And this contribute to sedentary lifestyle, stress, social isolation in the adolescent. See, all these factors affect adolescents more. And what are the unique features of adolescent making the vulnerable to environmental hazards? See, they start working, some of them. Occupational hazards are there. Like we remember now, many professions, adolescents are not allowed to work. You know, the firecrackers they were making, and now it is been banned. But it is not that strict. Many places still adolescents are working. Then target organ susceptibility. I'm not going to go into details. I'm just enumerating. Lung function gets affected. And why? Because they're still growing. Endocrine disruptor. Dr. Riaz sir has already mentioned hepatic metabolic pathways and how it affects, we'll see. Psychosocial changes, vulnerability of the adolescent brain, risk-taking behavior makes a lot of difference, and digital environment is very important. So air pollution, I think it's a big topic. We all are interested. Indoor air pollution. We know that still in our country, fossil fuels, biomass pollution is so much, and mainly children and women are affected. And outdoor pollution. This is also common. There are certain pollutants are emitted in the factory emissions which stay in the environment for a very long time. So we know that air pollution is a mixture of particles and gases. We know the particulate matter size 2.5 micrometers, which is main thing. Less than that affects our lungs. Respiratory problems start. See, this is the one. The particulate matters are so small. And this air pollution, outdoor, because of the industries, vehicles, wildfire, they emit the ozone. And I told that their height is less and it accumulates down the respiratory system. But please remember neuroinflammation, and it doesn't happen immediately. So leukemia, it may be later on. It's not, it is little scaring when we read this. This is a very documented with a proper references. And indoor pollution, simple thing, furniture, upholstery, our food packaging, polishes, then stain repellent, shampoos, antiperspirants, hair straighteners, many more. And it contains the pollutants like this. It affects the hepatic metabolic pathway, reduces thyroid, testosterone, asthma, eye irritation. Then smoking, it can be, see, adolescent can be first-hand smoking, they themselves smoke. Second-hand smoking, they get exposed to somebody smoking because their friends may be doing. And third-hand smoking, somebody else in the house may be doing. And it is definitely carcinogenic. It leads to many problems of smoking. If mother gets exposed, there is an intrauterine problem, all of us we know. There is a memory, attention span, executive functioning, headache, vomiting, palpitation, respiratory problems. Even e-cigarettes are not safe. Exposure to house dust might irritants like ozone alter the airway growth, decrease breathing, thickening of the walls of the airways, increase mortality from pneumonia, increase morbidity for asthma, chronic cough, allergic rhinitis, sinusitis, otitis media. This is really a very good table where you can make out what is a pollutant and where from the sources are and how it affects the health. So this is all the environment specialists, they tell this pyramid effect of the air pollution. That is, the proportion of the population affected is inversely proportional to the severity. So we'll not go into details of that. And there are simple methods which we can correct by having a replacing diesel and gasoline with the electric vehicle, but it requires a lot of efforts, cost in eliminating the diesel emissions. That is also very difficult. Preventing the crop burning. Now let us come to the very important thing. I told about the air pollution, and adolescents are affected a lot. Outdoor, because they are always outdoor many of the time because they have to be there. Endocrine disruptors, all of us, we know that these are the chemical, natural or man-made, and that interfere with the body's hormones, which regulate varieties of functions like metabolism. Please remember, here the metabolism plays a major role. Growth, adolescents are growing, development and sleep. And These are the words by our Anand Keshwan sir. Today's adolescent girl is tomorrow's mother. So please protect everyone. And there are many endocrine disruptors, naturally as well as man-made. So it has got an effect on the reproductive system because they act like a hormones and early menarche or late menarche. And I'm going to discuss about that. And there are simple methods are there. As I already told, the endocrine disruptors are these. I think all of you should know phytoestrogen. Phytoestrogens, many fruits also, spinach, some of the fruits, cranberry, and it doesn't mean that we should not eat them if they are eaten in the moderation. Soya bean, estrogens. So please remember, these are not, if you exaggerate, pesticides, plasticizers, all of know that what is a plasticizer. It is added in the rubber and plastic to make it flexible, and it contains BP and phthalates. And if you use those plastic containers, there is a leaching of the BP and phthalates in the food. Please remember, when you keep in the that you should not keep a plastic thing. The proper plastic should be used. There is a mark is there, that particular thing. So it affects the reproductive system, autoimmune, cardiopulmonary. It continues. Brain also. Alzheimer is known to happen because of that. So they can cause tumors, birth defect, developmental disorder, males, altered development and neoplasia of the male reproductive organs, testicular cancer, diminished sperm count, females, premature thalarchy, adenocarcinoma, vagina, nutritional deficiency, young mothers, early marriages, they may have preterm and low birth weight babies. So now we have seen how it affects the respiratory system, how it affects how it acts as an endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptor is a very big topic. Now let us see about the metabolic pathways. Pollutants affect the hepatic metabolic pathways, cholesterol and steroid hormone, because of and they're vulnerable because of the rapid growth, development, and hormonal changes. It may cause obesity and metabolic syndrome. Let us not go into the detail, but let us know about this. It causes protein, calorie malnutrition, micronutrient deficiency. And what happens because of this disturbance of the metabolic pathways? The metal, increased deposition of toxic metal appears in the growing bones. See, all these things are detrimental. So we have to remember, hepatic metabolic pathways get affected in adolescents because of their growing stage. Now, these things, I think all of us, we know that psychosocial changes and risk-taking behavior. They like the physical environment. They like to go to pub. They get exposed to the noise, smoke, and they like to hang out in the late afternoon when the level of ozone is more, and they get exposed to the ultraviolet radiations. They are prone for skin malignancies. The adolescent brain is vulnerable because they want a dopamine surge. So they are prone for addiction, drugs, tobacco, alcohol, digital environment. They are they want technology. They want always new devices. And that I'm going to come to when I'm going to talk about this thing. And they're vulnerable for that. See, physical mental health problems we know because of the digital environment. See, noise pollution we don't discuss much outside. It is because of the vehicle traffic, railways, airport, video games, music devices, and so many things, airports. And we know what is the level of the noise causes a problem. And we should take care of these things. So we call as a noise stress. Noise stress affects the cognitive development, causes irritability and sleep disturbance, in tachycardia, tachypnea, cardiac problems. Many non-communicable problems happen because of the noise stress, and we have to remember about that. Elevated adrenaline, cortisol production, it hinders the child's development, can cause psychological issues. All these things we can definitely take care if we think about that and then start managing. We can advise them. No honking, maybe minimal honking, reduce the volume of the speakers. Then music system should be low volume. And there are always the loudspeaker, the things will be going on everywhere. Now, in a short, light pollution word itself, sometimes we feel why we are using a light pollution. Our illumination is so much. There is written that 3 out of every 4 people in cities have never experienced that there is a dark sky. Most of the time it is well illuminated. We are very scared that there may be thefts, but that in turn causes lot many problem. Main important thing is uh, in an adolescent, first of all, there's melatonin secretion is delayed. It disturbs the sleep, circadian rhythm, irritability, lack of concentration. See, waterborne infections already mentioned. It affects the viral bacterial infections as well as it affects the water life. That is a eutrophication, they say, and it affects the health. It contaminates the agriculture, drinking water. So it is very important. All the waste is thrown into the ocean, in the river. We don't bother about that. And everywhere we see these things. See, I think somebody told about the toxicant and toxin. Toxin is naturally present. Okay, like presume mushroom has got a, they develop that because of the toxin and snake poison. But there are toxicant because of the human activity, industrial waste products. So, and pesticides. These are very important things that toxic substances are rampant nowadays. Contamination of food with the viruses and bacteria, we know. But there are non-infectious foodborne diseases. If there is a lot of dampness, you can see this maize. What is this? This is a mycotoxin, dioxins. All these things cause a lot of diseases. There is, I think all of you have heard about the acute toxic encephalopathy with a lychee consumption in Muzaffar, which was diagnosed because of that lychee. Why it was? It was polluted because of the pesticide. They could not prove exact thing, but it was not a infectious cause. Food wastage, how it is related to the adolescent. Why I am talking about food wastage? Because adolescent nowadays, they, because of their curricular activity, extracurricular activity, they like to eat outside. The portion may be very big and they don't have a food management behavior. I think you have seen first they take a photo and then they eat. Whether how much they waste, they are not bothered. We are not blaming and telling them that this generation is doing because they are not aware, and we have to make them aware that this wastage of food emits 3 billion tons of greenhouse gases each year. 7% of the greenhouse gases are because of this food wastage. And this global methane emission come from the rotten, uneaten food in the landfills and farms. So this is very important thing to be remembered, that food wastage has to be emphasized on them not to do it. Plastics, I think always we talk about the plastic. It is used everywhere. Single-use plastics are banned, but still it is going on. You can see the plastic everywhere it is affecting. Right at the bottom of the ocean, wild animals or anywhere. And they are in the, everything is with the plastic. And we know that BPA and adolescents are very much affected because obesity, cardiac problems, allergy, inflammation, asthma, infertility, impotence, breast cancer, prostatic cancer. Let us remember these things. And I told that this BPA, when you live in the hot, it starts mixing with that water. If you keep a hot water in that, most of the children, adolescents, they have to go out, they carry the plastic bottle. Let us discourage and ask them to use the other bottles. Now, I think without this, we can't anything. Internet, mobile, laptop and computer, mobile and e-gadget. How can we escape from this unavoidable evil? But let me tell about this study. Mobile phone basically use the radio frequency and hence has a thermal effect. Increases the body temperature, causes headache, brain tumor. I don't say that it is a carcinogenic, but study shows possibly carcinogenic. So we have to remember that. And it interferes with other electronic equipments and road accident. We are seeing mental and physical health problem, but environment is also getting affected, which we have to make aware. See, internet pollution is a new terminology. The digital actions emit a lot of greenhouse gases. If anybody is interested, I can give you a reference. How many greenhouse gases? In fact, this negative external use of new technology is unknown to us. So substantial environment impact it is there. It leaves a large carbon footprint by emitting greenhouse gases. I have shown certain things here. So e-waste, see, e-waste requires properly to be done, but e-waste, no, it is very attractive thing. It is not done proper recycling because everybody wants new gadget, and when new market it comes, there is nothing that we can replace or recycle. And when this is done in an unsound manner, it causes environment and child health, neurodevelopment, behavioral issues, respiratory, thyroid, immune system, and many more things happen. So we have to think about the e-waste to be managed properly. And especially these children, adolescents, they're very much, it is already I mentioned in this. And there are certain other environmental hazards. Heat stress, I am going to talk. Electric and magnetic fields, very important. So now I'm going to touch very few things to make aware that these PFCs, pH, phthalates, heavy metal, air pollutant. Air pollutant already I had talked. Where are these PFCs? We talk PFC. We go on reading. They are in the packing containers. Non-stick cookware, textile, carpet, cleaning liquid, cosmetics, and adhesives, construction material, electronic and uh, photographic devices. So where the adolescent get affected and what they do, they disrupt the lipid metabolism. I have already told childhood obesity, metabolic syndrome, then affects the immune system. So next, pH, just burning wood, garbage, tobacco, vehicle emissions, or cooking on the high flame. Naphthalene is a man-made pH. So please remember it is used in many chemicals and mothballs, cigarettes. So they can bind to form a small particles in the air, and they persist in the air for a very long time. It causes a endocrine disruptor effect, carcinogenic, reduce IQ, behavioral problem. We may not remember everything, but at least we should be sensitized. Phthalates are used in cosmetics, packages, household items. They are the indirect additives to our food. Medical and personal care items, they affect a lot. Allergy, asthma, cancer, diabetes, all these things. Heavy metals, obviously because of the industrialization and urbanization, there is a lot of heavy metals are there. There are metal-based pesticide, cosmetics are there. So if young mother uses that, it leads to preterm birth and all those things. And toxic effects of the heavy metal, lead paint. Many of us, we don't know what is the toxic level of the lead paint. We should know that it causes a thyroid and steroid hormone disruption. If it is in the plumbing, food cans, many things, cadmium, where it is, and how it disrupts the bone mineralization, osteoporosis, very important for the adolescent age group. Arsenic is in the drinking water and industrial sources. Mercury, all of us, we know that contaminated water, mercury, if it is in the long term, it causes tremors, loss of appetite, insomnia, many effects. Radiations, they may be man-made or natural. Both are not good. Man-made, I think we indiscriminately use X-ray, CT scans, MRI, all these things have to be reduced. Then we have already talked about all the things. Now I am going to come to the last part of that. Climate change is known to cause now, is mentioned that 250,000 additional deaths annually because of malnutrition, heat stress, and air pollution. WHO has mentioned that. And adolescents, because of their outgoing nature, they are prone for vector-borne diseases. Heat stress, food insecurity. Now let me mention this. How many people we know what is heat exhaustion and heat stress? No. We are not learning, and we have to learn that this is not a new disease, but I have myself seen heat exhaustion. This summer season, they are going for the summer classes and they're playing on the ground, or maybe cricket coaching classes. Heat exhaustion is very common. They feel drowsy, they excessively sweating, nausea, vomiting, rapid weak pulse, and muscle cramp. This is a milder form, but if you go to heat stroke, we have to be alarmed ourselves. It is going to happen. This year it has increased 2 degree. Next year it may be 4 degree. And they may cause throbbing headaches, sweating. They don't, there is no sweating. And body temperature is more than 104. See, they are not conscious. Maybe we know that, shift them to the cold place, give them a cold drink or cold ORS. But if they are not conscious, it may cause rhabdomyolysis. I think we have to remember, and causes death also. So we should know the symptoms of heat exhaustion. And when is the heat exhaustion more? Why I have brought out this point? Obesity is increasing. Children may be at higher risk of heat exhaustion because of the obesity and taking certain medication. Please let us introspect ourselves. We use a lot of antihistaminics, decongestants, diuretic may not be more, antipsychotics may not be more. For ADHD and these children, we use a stimulant. Anticholinergics are used. So we have to be very cautious. So this is a heat stroke. Now, I don't say it is a new disease, but it is everywhere, is required to be aware of that. So RKSK has come with the facilitators guide in which they are mentioned. And I think I'm very sure, please go through the environment chapter of Nelson. Nelson has mentioned everything. That is the last chapter, and we never read that. Everything is mentioned. That what is the environmental change, climate change, ecological change. This whole thing is from Nelson. So Nelson doesn't leave anything. Maybe instead of last, it has to come in between now. So climate crisis and relations, very important. I think it's a big topic to discuss because of the temporary and permanent migration, displacement. It is very common. I think as such data is not available, but mostly the children below 18 years get affected. And why they're migrating? Because of the food insecurity, loss of livelihood, and definitely because of the economic problem, there may be child marriage, physical, sexual abuse in young girls. Let us not forget this, because always we discuss about the physical problem, mental health problems are the last to be discussed. They are overwhelmed by the challenges because of their hormonal changes. Response to stress is exaggerated, socialization is disturbed, interferes with their psychological maturation, and these are the vulnerables. See, we discuss about substance abuse, there are vulnerables, but climate change also there are vulnerables. So we have to remember this vulnerable population, lower socioeconomic strata, homeless, farming community, because they use a lot of pesticides. So mental health issues, they can have a post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, suicidal ideation, feeling helpless, angry, aggressive, mood disturbance, and many things because of the food insecurity, financial distress, struggle over limited resources, violence, school dropout. I think WHO is discussing a lot about this entity, climate anxiety. It is a new terminology, solastalgia. It is a feeling of distress about this threat of climate change, and in turn the future of the world. And many young people in the survey, they say that it negatively affects their life and functioning. Obviously, they get a panic attack, insomnia, obsessive thinking, depression, substance abuse. So they have to develop a climatic resilience. So climate resilience, these are the new terminology. They should develop a capacity to resilient to come out of that. We are realized during COVID, education and opportunities. Extreme weather events and resource scarcity can disrupt the school due to the climate related problems. So definitely increase vulnerability of the education happens, climate impacts on the education, the crisis disrupts 40 million children education every year. Attainment of the quality education is our fourth SDG goal, which is threatened by the climate crisis. So we have to remember about that. We have to remember about continuity of the quality education. May not be always online education is the solution, but something has to be done. Finances should be diverted. Climate education is very compulsory. Empower individuals to become resilient. Disaster resistance should develop. Preparedness, anticipatory action. See, we adolescent specialists, let us include this anticipatory guidance point, which was not mentioned anywhere about the climate change and global warming. So preventive steps can be taken on the individual level. Ask them to part of the action. And adolescents are very, very intelligent. They are tech savvy. They can do better than us. They have to develop a coping skills, develop a resilience. So they should be informed, but not over-informed. They should not feel hopeless. Otherwise, it becomes like they feel that everything is doomed now. Many people after COVID, they were feeling like that. So tell them climate change is not only personally experienced stress, but it is universally experienced and extreme stressor. So this impact of the climate change pollution is going to be intensified. And child and adolescent of today are going to face the worst effects. They don't like to be passive victims. All of we know that Greta Thunberg, she was 15 years old from Sweden. She started the Friday for the Future. She used to bunk the school on Friday and agitate against the government. That is the action. But there are many all over the world. India also, youth is rising up to fix the country's toxic air problem. So this is the Sona Sridhar. She participated in one UNICEF. After that tsunami, after that she realized, and she has created one character. All these things, it can be done. So youth for climatic action, all these actions are there. There are adolescents, they themselves get involved in that. Family level, yes, they should be role model themselves, and they should do what they are supposed to do so that adolescent will follow that. Community level and legislative levels, strict implementation of policies of regulating the emission, conserving electricity, reusing and recycling, and international level also can help them. So environmental education and advocacy among adolescents is very important, and that is going to help. I think this may be a small point, but please remember, war and military activities, there is a 6% of greenhouse gases are emitted, toxic dust, radioactivity from nuclear waste. Is it wars are also increasing? Still, there is a war going on between Ukraine and Russia. What is the going to be effect on the world? Let us think about that and stop those things. Deforestation. So environment history taking, it was beautifully described in the last year webinar by Dr. Sukumaran sir. Where are they staying? The asbestos, formaldehyde, where is the residence? New construction sites get exposed to silica and asbestos. It is, we don't know about these things. Unless and until we are aware, we are not going to ask them this history. They don't have immediate health effect, but can have an effect later on. Formaldehyde, those mobile homes, they get to formaldehyde. What is the age of the building? How the cooking is done, biomass pollution, already I told. So pesticides, if they are in the rural area, if they are in contact with the agriculture, they get exposed to pesticides. Hobbies, they may get because of their hobbies, they may have those toxic and exposure to toxics. So what is the air index? I think we say, no. So how it is in the atmosphere in the schools. Some schools are old, they are newly painting. All these things has to be known. Where they are, some of them are employed. We know that firecracker industry, now they are banned. Many places they are banned, but still it is going on. So this is a form, children environment health record. This is a green page. The time is not very long. I think it is there, should be included. As we go on screening for the screen time heads, this is also going to be very important. There are many programs in India, but is it going to, are they implemented? I think it is required to be implemented. So I have mentioned certain program. I think Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, everyone knows, but there is one Society for Community Health Awareness Research and Action. These are non-NGOs, they are doing the work. Plastic is also banned, but we are not following that. This circle, professionals, the adolescent well-being, climate change effects. This summarizes everything. So we play a major role. First and foremost, Now, this is my last but one slide. We have to take an environmental history and be familiar to investigate where exposure to environmental hazards could have been reason for that. We can influence the local community leaders, policymakers, and undertake measures to mitigate these environmental hazards. Then spread the awareness. We can spread the awareness on social media on the relationship with the environment, pollution, and child and adolescent health. So what is our message? Healthier environment could prevent almost one quarter of the global diseases. And health sector can play by influencing the government, policymakers, engaging the communities, giving the anticipatory guidance, clean air, stable climate, adequate water, sanitation, hygiene, safe use of chemicals, protection from radiation, healthy and safe workplaces, sound agriculture practices. See, there is a controversy. I did not take about the organic food and all those things because that is also controversy. Health supportive cities, built environment, preserved nature is very important. Families should reduce the carbon footprint, and important is the chemical safety policy should be restricted. Reuse, reduce, recycle. And let us commit to fostering a greener future by adopting these practices, not only during the conferences by talking in the webinar, also in our everyday lives. So this is the word for our 5th June World Environment Day. Theme is land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience. But this is a great program. I think whatever I talked is going to be done with this Green Army project. I know Dr. Anand Keshwan, Dr. Somshekhar, Dr. Balchandran, Dr. Naushadani, and Dr. Narmada, they have taken as a war footing. I saw this new flyer. I think this is not only to happen in Kerala. Maybe you told in the West Bengal it is happening. We have to take it should be taken in a mission mode. This Green Army module, let them catch young. They are the ones who are going to teach us. Maybe elderly people also we should teach, but they are going to be affected more. So they will definitely will take this action and will help. So let me thank, I have first and foremost, our mentor and guide founder, Dr. Parmesh sir, Bhave madam, Sukumaran sir, Anand Keshwan, Somshekhar, Narmada Ashok. I have taken few things from Vimochana and Deepa Janardhan because we had the same topic in our workshop in Pedicon in Kochi. And many things are mentioned in this book, IAP AHA textbook of adolescent medicine, which is started printing, and many new topics are added. And especially this chapter is written by Dr. Narmada and Bhave madam. So it is a great thing is going to happen. Once again, thank you for giving me opportunity. Thank you very much. Maybe I have crossed the time.
No, madam. Thank you, Geeta Patil, ma'am. It was very comprehensive talk, and I would like to echo what our Srinivasan sir has said in the chat box, that very elaborate, encompassing, elegant, educative, and environmental talk by Geeta ma'am. What you said is truly correct, that adolescents were the brunt of environmental injustice. But in the same vein, I would like to tell you that we are all responsible for this. And through Green Army, we should be able to make our future generation aware about what wrong things we are doing. And from your talk, I would like to stress that what these adolescents are facing is the air pollution, the endocrine disruptors, and the psychological changes they face. And not the least, the noise pollution. Everywhere we see headsets in the adolescents with the headsets, and they are also prone to addictions and all. And they are all responsible for food wastage and e-waste. That also we have to highlight in our Green Army module. And various programs in India that also you highlighted that what we are not implementing. And of course, the history, the environmental history, the importance of environmental history also you have stressed. So we have with us very prominent leaders in AHA with us. I would like to invite our President, Chairperson-elect, National Chairperson-elect, Dr. Himabindu ma'am, for your expert comments, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Balchandra. It was excellent. And especially with Environment Day coming in, it really motivates all of us to think. And it is not just one day, the whole, I think it is really um, the the panic button is on, and all of us are conscious, should be conscious. And this initiative of Green Army is excellent. I hope more and more pediatricians join you and everybody who's doing this, and each one of us can do so much change in our own environment, in our own places. And adolescents, definitely they are the change agents. They think a lot, especially when it comes to societal things. They think more than us that how it affects other people. So our own children, I can see my own daughter, she's very conscious about what she's doing. When especially Diwali and such festivals come, she tells me, no ma, we are not going to do this crackers. Even for the Ganesha, Lord Ganesha's festival, they all want mud, not the POP thing. So they are very conscious actually. But then we need to really join hands with them. They can be leaders, they can be change agents. And since it is their future, the children, adolescents, the earth is the whatever we are leaving, it is for them. We all have a moral responsibility to have some programs which is it should be in a mission mode now, because already things are very bad now. We really have to do something very effective, and we can at least utilize the adolescents for this change, what we all want, and we can be a little motivating them, and they'll really feel good about it. And AHA, as the committed, we are really committed. Geeta is here. We all really feel that we should do something with the adolescents. I'm sure we'll come out with something new ideas where we can involve the youth. And I really thank IAP Kerala and AHA Kerala to bring in this progressive topic for all of us to listen. It was really an excellent session. Thank you, Dr. Balchandran, Dr. Ranjit, Dr. Shimi, Dr. Vidhu Ashok, Dr. Deepa, and many other, and Anand Keshwan sir, all leaders in this area. Thank you so much for inviting me for my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm also happy that Geeta Patil ma'am has taken up the responsibility of spreading the this Green Army through
Yes.
AHA at various centers. Thank you, ma'am.
Commitment from my side too. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And also we have our past secretary, immediate past secretary of AHA, our Aaron Sharma sir. Sir is there?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, ma'am. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Really excellent talk. And Dr. Geeta Patil not left any point and effects of the environment to our adolescent and health. And what we are seeing, this is the tips of iceberg. But effects are really more than that. And we just see these effects in our northern India. The temperature is more than 45 degrees centigrade for more than 1 week. And we are, as Dr. Himamindu said, we are committed to spread this message, and we will try to implicate this Green Army project in all over India in AHA. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, AHA Kerala and AHA, IAP Kerala. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
In continuity with Aryan Sharma sir's talk, I can say there are the school reopening dates have changed this year, sir. In our Bangalore also, some of the schools, they are doing 10 days online, because 3rd June it was supposed to start. They want to extend 15 days, but they don't want to lose again back to online study for 15 days because of the high temperature, because of some of the schools, parents told that they cannot come, they are exhausted. So it is disastrous. It is going to disrupt the education also.
Absolutely.
So we have to take care of that, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
sir.
Kishore Bindu sir is there, Karnataka chapter adolescent AHA chairperson of Karnataka. Kishore sir.
Kishore sir, he is one environmentalist. He is always innovative ideas. He never likes we using in the conference. Dr. Narmada's conference, he was appreciating so many times. In Bangalore, every conference, he will be the first person to bring it to our notice. And we don't follow that, but many times.
EduCon 2025 also we decided in Hyderabad to be environmental friendly. A lot of steps we are going to take.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome you. Yeah. Kishore ji is there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity of interacting with stalwarts of both the adolescent academy as well as a very committed environmental group of the IAP. What I would say is that we've had an excellent talk by Dr. Geeta with special relevance to adolescents and how environment would affect them, because they stay on this earth for much longer than most of us. For quite a lot of us, we are much near the other end of our spectrum of life. But then for the adolescents, they have decades to go ahead. And I'm sure this is an important topic for those adolescents who look forward to a much greener and healthy environment in their future. Point is that, as Dr. Geeta put it, a lot of us, we preach, but then do we practice? I think we should make a change in our own lives. And Dr. Himabundu said that our children today are much more conscious than probably the old timers on environmental issues, etc. But is it making an impact in our day-to-day life? For a lot of us, I see that we talk, but we never preach. Simple thing that I see on the roads today, in my own road, people go in the morning to buy their fruits, vegetables, flowers. They walk every day, but they still don't carry a single cloth bag. They take that thin plastic bag, dump it somewhere. But we talk from ivory towers. So I think practice is what is more important than preaching. It would go a long way in helping environment. May this be the harbinger of more better days ahead, and we might see a new government taking a thing tomorrow. And let us hope that whichever is the government that comes in lays emphasis on environment and climatic changes, and we all follow what we preach. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So practice and don't preach is what the message. Next, I would like to invite our teacher of teachers, Srinivasan sir, who is in US now. Sir is like our Sukumaran sir, who won't miss any of the our academic programs. Sir, please.
Yeah, I'm awareness, from all
Good
of
evening,
you.
sir.
And of course, it's a wonderful talk. And of course, Kishore Bandar and of course, Parmesh, he has conducted the International Environment Meet and participated in the first two environmental meets. He has given me some assignment. And of course, it has to be, it is spreading very well. But of course, as mentioned by Kishore, I think more action has to be taken. Of course, we are aware of all the ill effects, but then I think we have to see that the policymakers are implementing it in a war footing to control the problems. Thank you so much for asking me to tell. And I am always fascinated the students. Okay, and Geeta Patil always listen and then she gives tons of information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Our own Deepa Janardhanan, she is was the past secretary of AHA. Deepa, please, a few words.
Thank you, sir. It was a very super presentation by Geeta Patil, ma'am. Congrats, ma'am. And what I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Connectivity is always good, but what I observe is like, at least in Kerala, the NH construction, all the trees, the roadside trees have been cut. So I like my humble request to everyone is on June 5th, at least each one of us who are here can plant one tree. That would add great. Green Army, our kids are doing, that's very great. But from our side, if we can plant single tree, maybe we can make some change from our side. Thank you.
Can I just mention here, Dr. Bala, if you allow me? Just
Yes.
actually on June 5th, because I am actually heading an institute of a medical college as a dean. Right now, an opportunity, there's a new complex coming in, a new medical college, huge campus. And actually, while construction, many of the big trees have gone. But I've decided on June 5th to plant 1,100 trees and
Great,
in my
ma'am.
campus. So
Great.
that is something so satisfying experience I may have, and involving many of the policymakers there and, with the other departments. So I shall be planting 1,100 trees on June 5th in my campus.
That's great, ma'am. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think there is one person, I think Dr. Shubha Badami. She always says nature deficit. We say, other deficit. So
Nature deficit.
Dr. Shubha has written. Dr. Shubha, can you switch on the video?
Don't ask me to switch on the video because it's still early morning for me and I'm not yet ready to face you all. But thanks. But I started to listen to Geeta somewhere in the midway, but I've heard Geeta before. I think it was excellent, Geeta. And nature deficit disorder is something that has come up in the last 15, 20 years. There's a book by Dr. Richard Louv, which everybody should read. It says Last Child in the Woods. I think that's what I would tell you people to read. And I think conservation and the 3 R's begins at home and it begins in kindergarten. Because what you role model, when you show your kindergarten child what it is, you're really going to be doing it. You can't wait till they're teenagers to tell them, isn't it? So I think that's my message. Okay. Thanks so much.
Good message.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bharat sir, Dr. Naushid is there. He is the man behind the Green Army project.
Green Army project.
Yeah,
right?
Naushid.
Yes.
Naushid, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving an opportunity. Anyway, it was a nice talk. I didn't hear full, but I entered just last time only. And this time, I want to request all of you in June 5th maximum good programs like already ma'am mentioned. It's a very good appreciated program. Like we have to do more plan implantation like that. So many programs we are doing, and also our one PPT presentation already I put in our group that in a school everyone should present that PPT, and June 5th is our World Environment Day. That's why most of them, all of you, please do more programs. We also doing so many programs in ECHG banner. Okay. Anyway, very good topic and submission. Everything is good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Naushid. So, on the behalf of IAP Pathanamthitta and the AHA, I'd like to thank Geeta Patil ma'am for your wonderful talk. Over to Ranjit.
Okay, Bharat sir, thank you, Bharat sir, for sharing this session, and Geeta Patil ma'am for the excellent session and so many informative points. And let's together we can preserve the environment, and with the participation of adolescents through Green Army and various other projects, I think we can more committed towards our environment and adolescents. So that is a take-home message for today's. I thank all of you for joining the session. We will come with more such sessions and informative sessions from the stalwarts of adolescent health in the coming months also. And thank you all. Jai Hind, Jai IAP, Jai AHA. Have a good day, good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Nice
Best wishes.
meeting all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
For execution.